The sun was setting over a small village, casting a warm orange glow over the thatched roofs of the houses. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming cherry blossoms and the sound of birds singing their evening songs. In a small cottage, an old man was sitting by the window, watching the sunset. He was known as Kobutori Jiisan, which means the old man with the lump, because he had a large lump on his cheek. The old man was a kind and gentle soul, with a heart full of love for nature and all living things. He spent his days tending to his garden, where he grew all sorts of delicious vegetables and beautiful flowers. He was especially fond of his cherry blossom tree, which bloomed every spring and filled the air with its sweet fragrance. As he sat by the window, he would often talk to the tree, saying, "Ah, my dear cherry blossom, you are so beautiful today." The old man's wife, Abakan, was busy in the kitchen, preparing dinner for the two of them. She was a skilled cook, and the old man loved the way she could make even the simplest ingredients taste delicious. The smell of cooking rice and vegetables filled the house, making the old man's stomach growl with hunger. "Soon, my dear," he said to himself, "soon we will sit down to a wonderful meal." As the sun dipped below the horizon, the old man got up from his chair and walked over to the garden. He wanted to take one last look at his cherry blossom tree before it got too dark. The tree was still blooming, and its branches were swaying gently in the evening breeze. The old man reached out and touched the soft petals of the flowers, feeling grateful for the beauty of nature. "You are a treasure, my dear tree," he said, "a treasure that brings joy to my heart." As he stood there, he heard the sound of footsteps coming from the path that led to the village. It was a young girl, no more than 10 years old, with a big smile on her face and a basket in her hand. She was carrying a bunch of fresh vegetables, which she had probably picked from her family's garden. The old man watched as she approached the house, feeling a sense of warmth and kindness towards her. "Ah, little one," he said to himself, "what brings you to our house tonight?" The girl came up to the door and knocked gently, saying, "Kobutori Jiisan, may I come in?" The old man smiled and said, "Of course, little one, come in and rest for a while." The girl entered the house, and the old man could see that she was tired from her journey. He invited her to sit down, and Abakan brought out some tea and snacks for her to eat. As they sat down together, the old man asked the girl, "What brings you to our house tonight, little one?" And the girl began to tell her story, a story that would change the old man's life forever. The girl took a sip of the warm tea and smiled, feeling grateful for the old man's kindness. "My name is Emiko," she said, "and I live in the village with my family. We have a small garden, where we grow all sorts of vegetables and fruits. My mother is very sick, and she needs some special herbs to get better." The old man listened carefully, his eyes filled with concern. "What kind of herbs does your mother need, Emiko?" he asked. Emiko thought for a moment before answering. "She needs some yamogi and kanzashi, which only grow on the other side of the mountain." My father is away, working in the city, and I couldn't find anyone to help me pick the herbs. The old man nodded, understanding the difficulty of Emiko's situation. Don't worry, little one, he said. We will help you find the herbs your mother needs. Abakan, who had been listening to the conversation, spoke up. We have some yamogi in our garden, but I'm not sure about the kanzashi. We can give you the yamogi, and Kobutori Jiisan can help you find the kanzashi tomorrow. Emiko's face lit up with joy. Really? You would do that for me? The old man smiled and patted her hand. Of course, we will help you. We are happy to help those in need. As they sat together, the old man noticed that Emiko was staring at the cherry blossom tree outside the window. Do you like cherry blossoms, Emiko? He asked. Emiko nodded, her eyes shining with wonder. They are so beautiful, like pink clouds in the sky. We have a cherry blossom tree in our garden too, but it's not as big and beautiful as yours. The old man smiled, feeling happy to share his love for nature with Emiko. Would you like to see the tree up close? He asked. Emiko nodded eagerly, and the old man took her outside to the garden. The moon was rising, casting a soft glow over the garden. The cherry blossom tree was still blooming, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. Emiko gasped in wonder, reaching out to touch the soft petals of the flowers. It's like a dream, she said, her voice filled with magic. The old man smiled, watching Emiko's joy. He felt grateful for the chance to share his love for nature with this young girl, and he knew that their encounter would be a special one. As they stood there, the sound of crickets filled the air, and the scent of blooming flowers surrounded them. It was a peaceful moment, one that the old man would always remember. After a while, Emiko said goodbye to the old man and Abakan, thanking them for their kindness. The old man walked her to the door, feeling a sense of warmth and connection to this young girl. We will find the kanzashi for your mother tomorrow, he said, and we will make sure she gets the help she needs. Emiko smiled, feeling grateful for the old man's promise. As she walked away from the house, the old man watched her go, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. The night was quiet and still, with only the sound of crickets breaking the silence. The old man went back inside, feeling happy to have met Emiko, and he knew that their friendship would be a special one. The old man returned to his cozy living room, where Abakan was waiting with a warm smile. I'm glad we could help Emiko, she said. She seems like a kind and gentle soul. The old man nodded, sitting down in his favorite chair. Yes, she is a lovely girl, and I'm happy to help her and her mother. Abakan brought him a cup of tea, and they sat together in comfortable silence, listening to the crickets outside. The tea was warm and soothing, and the old man felt his eyes growing heavy. He thought about Emiko and her mother, and he knew that they would do everything they could to help them. As the night wore on, the old man and Abakan talked softly about their plans for the next day. They would go to the mountain and search for the kanzashi, and they would make sure that Emiko's mother received the help she needed. The old man felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment, knowing that he could make a difference in someone's life. Abakan smiled at him, her eyes shining with kindness. "You have a good heart, Kobutori Jiisan," she said. "You always think of others before yourself." The old man blushed, feeling a sense of humility. "I just want to help," he said. "I want to make a difference in the world." As the conversation came to a close, the old man and Abakan sat together in silence, listening to the sounds of the night. The crickets were still singing, and the wind was rustling through the leaves of the cherry blossom tree. The old man felt a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he had made a new friend and that he could help someone in need. He looked over at Abakan, who was smiling at him, and he felt grateful for her love and support. The room was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of incense and the soft glow of the lanterns. As the night wore on, the old man's eyes grew heavier, and he felt himself drifting off to sleep. Abakan covered him with a soft blanket, and he felt her gentle touch on his shoulder. "Sleep well, Kobutori Jiisan," she said. "We will find the kanzashi tomorrow, and we will help Emiko's mother." The old man smiled, feeling a sense of trust and confidence. He knew that everything would be okay, and that he was surrounded by love and kindness. The room grew quieter and stiller, the only sound the soft breathing of the old man and the distant chirping of the crickets. The lanterns cast a warm glow over the room, and the scent of incense filled the air. The old man's chest rose and fell with each breath, and his face was peaceful and serene. Abakan sat beside him, watching over him with a gentle smile. The night was dark and quiet, but the old man's heart was full of love and kindness. As the hours passed, the old man's breathing grew slower and deeper, and he slipped into a peaceful sleep. The room was still and quiet, filled with the soft glow of the lanterns and the gentle scent of incense. Everything was at peace, and the old man's heart was filled with love and kindness.